Ocean. Hi, I'm Ali from Kona Tourist, and if you haven't been to the channel before, we do some travel videos, usually travels around Tasmania, because we haven't been able to get off this little island for a little while. You know why. So we are at Launceston Big Caravan Park, which is just outside of town on your way to Hobart, and we've stopped here, $50 a night, and the reason for that is that the Supercars are on this weekend, and our great friend Ray has got us some tickets, so we're going to head out there and spend all day today at the V8 Supercars. This caravan park is part of the Big Four holiday chain. There are powered sites and unpowered sites, and there's a bit of money being invested into putting in extra additional cabins around the place as well. What struck me and the rest of the guys was that this wasn't really a campsite. It wasn't the sort of place where everyone would be out in the morning, you know, cooking their bacon and eggs over the Weber and, you know, shouting out, saying hi. It's kind of felt like a bit of a stopover place. That's fine, because what we're finding is that the accommodation at Launceston is just through the roof. Since COVID, everyone's put their prices up to try and recoup some money back, I think. But, you know, accommodation's looking $250 a night in some places. It's just crazy. That was a well-timed walk past. The advantage of having a caravan or a van of some description is that you can pop into a caravan park and have that cheaper rate. There's a bit of a barbecue area. What you will hear though is the noise of the highway. This is the main highway leading into Launceston from down south through Hobart. So there is a bit of traffic noise. I didn't really notice it the first night, but the second night I really did. With the races being on, they've got a problem in Launceston with hoons just going around and around the main street. It's been ongoing for ages. So all you hear are these revved up cars doing burnouts. I think they might have been doing burnouts in the car park down at the church and just roaring around town. This isn't a one-off for the cars. This has happened several times we've been up at Lonnie. There's a little bit of a park for the kids, and of course you've got the bouncy inflatable, which is always a big hit. There weren't many children staying at this park, however. There was a smaller camp kitchen which had the amenities. You'll see that a little bit later. Very small, but it serves the purpose. It was really clean and tidy, which I thought was fantastic, and we certainly felt safe there. There's no problems with the park itself. Would we come back and stay again? Absolutely, especially when there's events on at Lonnie, and if you're able to get a spot in this caravan park ahead of time, we definitely stay here again. Oh, we have a book nook next to fire extinguisher, and we're just hanging out in the laundry because that's what you do when you're on a camp trip to Lonnie. You just loiter in the laundry. Okay, everybody, we are at the camp kitchen. This is it. Is this it? this is it. Oh my goodness. It's a table. We're in the camp kitchen. And this is pretty much the camp kitchen. It was a foggy Saturday start as we headed out of Launceston, but lucky this was only a little patch of fog. Once we broke through on the other side, it was a beautiful sunny day, in fact quite hot. Took us about 25 minutes to get to Symmons Plains, and this is where we pulled up stomps. Now this is the first place we sat. We ended up moving further around to the left to get a better view of the track. Our tickets also included a trip to the paddock. This is the paddock. You go down along the back of where all the cars are getting set up. You can look into each of the garages and see their setup. It's pretty amazing what they go through to get themselves to these events in terms of the amount of stuff that they've got to bring with them. We hung out around the back of the garages just checking out all the workings of what the team was up to, and occasionally you'll get to see one of the drivers. So I was lucky enough to see Mostert, who's one of my favourite drivers, and later on in the day I also saw Todd Hazelwood. And next time when I'm at one of these events, I'll actually have something for these drivers to sign when I do actually bump into them in the back of the garages.
Well guys, what can I say? 2.5 years ago, Allison and I went on a cruise and met some tremendous people, which we do on every cruise. Rob and Ray works for Supercars, and she's been so great getting us tickets to go to these events, and we've now become full-time sponsors, just small sponsors of Todd Hazelwood in his truck assist car with Matt Stone Racing. Just great to get to the track today and have a look at the new cars that are coming out next year, the 3 Gen. Commodores are gone, and now Camaros are coming in, so Mustangs will race against Camaros in the 3 Gen, and hopefully we'll get a bit more information on how that's going to work shortly.
After spending a fair bit of time in the paddock, we then went out to get a bite to eat and get ourselves set up so that we could start watching some of the events that were running throughout the morning.
Symmons Plains has been off the table now, I think, for the last 1 or 2 years because of COVID. 2 years, so we haven't seen any V8 Supercar racing down here on the island, and it was so great to see them back with big crowds and no restrictions with masks or anything like that. So great to see, and great to see the drivers coming out and recognising that with the supporters and signing autographs and shirts and things like that. The guys are more than too happy to come out and help out. So yeah, great to see racing back at Symmons Plains in Tasmania.
It was stinking hot on this Saturday. Jeff ran up and grabbed us an umbrella so we could sit under it, that we weren't going to get fried to a crisp.
Mind you, it was only 24 degrees on this day, but it was not a cloud in the sky and not a breath of air, but the sun was just so hot. 24 degrees, we were starting to burn, so had to get an umbrella. It was just too hot. Well, if there was one negative of the day, it had to be the lack of support coming to Tasmania. There was a very small field out there today. We had the V8 Supercars supported by Aussie Supercars, supported by some four guys going around drifting, and then we had the Aussie trucks, or just the truck racing, which was about 8 cars. So really disappointing at the rest of the field, but the V8's put on a fantastic show. We were so lucky once again. Ray organised us to get onto the pit so we could walk up and down and have a look to see, stand with the cars, go and talk to the drivers, and really hard for these guys because I've interviewed a couple of drivers, and it's their job, to be in race mode, ready to go, but also stand there on the pits and actually talk to people and get photos and smile while they're just about ready to jump on that clutch and get off at 100 mile an hour. So tough job for these guys, but it seems that media sort of rules the roost, and that's what the job's all about, and they do a tremendous job. So if you get a chance to get out to the racing, go out and do it. It's a pretty good day.
Jeff mentioned that we are small sponsors of Todd Hazelwood. If you're interested in sponsoring any of these guys, or especially Todd, anywhere between $300 to $500, and you get a whole lot of perks for that. Another positive for the day was the Ned's whiskey and dried. Gee, that was nice. Highly recommend that drink. Came out of nowhere. You'll notice here that pole position is very much protected. Like Jeff said, it's all about the media. At least you can get a glance. I love this grid walk. It was good fun. I've never done it before. Then it was back to our spot up on the hill, ready to watch the final race, the final round.
If you don't know too much about motor racing at V8 Supercars, there are 2 teams that absolutely dominate the field, which is the AAA team, Red Bull, and also the DJR team, Racing, which is through Penske. Unfortunately, these guys are just on top of the tree, very, very hard to beat. So they tend to be on the top one, two, three most of the times. So it's really good to see some of the younger blokes coming through and getting out on a second or a third. So yeah, there's some smaller teams that are doing some really hard work to get up there, but very hard to battle against the top teams that get all the sponsorship and all the rights to their cars.
And if you don't know anything about racing, then Shane Gisbergen was the name of the day. He won all 3 rounds on this visit. Once we managed our way out of the car park, we headed into Launceston to have some dinner at the Prickly Cactus, our one-time favourite. And the next morning, a nice early rise, ready to head back home to Hobart. We had a top time at the Big 4 Caravan Park, and we also had a great time at the V8 Supercars. Thanks so much, Ray, for organising that for us. We really, really appreciate it. So now we're in for our long trip home, and we might stop in at Campbelltown and grab some brekkie along the way. If you have enjoyed our video, thank you for sticking around and watching it right to the end for a start, and give us a like and subscribe to our channel if you enjoy what we're doing, because we intend to bring you videos ongoing throughout the year. So until next time, I'll catch you later.